It was not my gift with the blade that carried me to this venerable decrepitude. My foot felt lighter on the running soil than any hair mid-flight or fight. And of course the occasional thought blundered through my stupidity. That day, the day when I arrived at myself, the village was high as a cluster of prematurely disturbed cave bats. Cool broth, thick with the sacred flesh of God, was labelled freely into palms eagerly cupped to receive the sacrament. It was the week of me manning, barely a visible fuzz on me balls. They laced heavy that day. Well, it was the morning of battle. Within the hour, everything began to twist. I emerged into a fantastical world where colours thwarted clarity and inexplicable creatures proliferated. And there I was, 15 summers if I was a wet afternoon, all cum and thick with invulnerability, caught up with the roar and the grunter's preparations. When the world returned to itself, we were already in the field. I looked left. Fergus grinned, raised his blade like he were a hunter just back from a trek, and bone ready for the maiden's cup. To my right, Cullum spat and bore down upon a sapling no denser of gristle than I. I might have blinked, but Cullum's squirting neck and his head, stopping at the quivering feet of the child, held my lids wide and stiff, the grinning brute bearing an axe the scale of my entire body thundering towards me, and I, piss-drained, learned something of my capacity for the brisk in that moment. I took my heels out for a lengthy stretch, distracting Fergus. I caught a glimpse of the blade point emerging from the lid of his skull. Heard father's neighing bellow. Ignored everything but my own preservation. Hang the expense. The usual penalty for yellow dogs, as my new tribe were named, was a long, protracted, painful scream, and bones thrown on the leaving piles, and strays encouraged to piss on them. They'd have to catch me first. Well, that was many plagues ago. Was the price too high, you ask? This rootless life, neither wife nor brood. Would a wiser man have sucked his bitter medicine back then, retained his honour, his dignity? What wisdom worth a cat squirt in a rancid puddle would choose to be marrowless bones rotting in that distant bog? On my cowardly knife, I have never gusted a regretful breath that I was not as Cullum was, with the respect of men to warm my self-regard. That will earn you a shallow sip of muck-thick water in this world. I have lived, stray women rotted with, meals occasionally worth the cost of a good chew, a taste for muscular drink that has never failed me, the occasional sunset that harms my disease so profoundly it would almost inspire me to praise that cluster of charlatans that live in the mountains of the sky.